In this video, we are going to create a new file. So let's hop over here to File, New, and we can choose letter size again with 8.5 inches by 11 inches. Go Create, and let's go to File, Place, Embed It, Apples, and File. Sorry, so I can't, you see that if I go to File, Place, Embed It again, everything is grayed out. I'm not actually allowed to do anything. And the reason is because you have to press Enter after placing something. So go to your keyboard, click Enter. Now you can place another file. File, Place, Embed It. And let us place fruits. Okay. So I would like fruits to be in the back behind apples. So I'm going to click and drag on fruits. And now you can't see fruits, and the reason is because it is behind apples. So if I move apples, and make sure you're on your move tool, okay, which is the first one here, so click on that. So if I move apples, you'll see that, you know, the fruits is right behind there. Now I would like to make fruits as big as the background, so the entire document. So I'm going to go to a corner of it, press Alt, and then drag it out. Now pressing Alt makes it so that the proportions are constrained, so it doesn't, you know, become stretched out one way or another. It doesn't get skewed. Otherwise, it will get stretched out. Okay, so now I can press Enter after I have resized it. Okay, so now click on apples. So you can click on the apples, the image itself, or you can go to the layer and click on that to select it. Okay, if you're unable to click on the image to select it, it might be because you don't have auto select checked. Okay, so go to your image here with your select move tool and look up here in your options panel if you have auto select checked. If you cannot move your images around by clicking on it, it's because you don't have auto select checked. Another thing that you must check for is Show Transform Controls. If you don't have Show Transform Controls, you don't see that bounding box around it. So let's make sure that you have both of them checked. Auto Select and Show Transform Controls. Okay, now I'm going to make my apple smaller. So I'm going to go to a corner and click it in. Now, if I just click it and it doesn't, I actually don't need to press Alt or anything. Okay, I thought that I did, but you can actually just click and drag and it won't get stretched out. Okay, and it's because the proportions are constrained here. The aspect ratio is maintained here. Okay, so I'm speaking, I thought that I needed to click on Alt because before you needed to do so to constrain the proportions in previous versions, but in this version they have changed it so that you don't need to. So that's great because many times students or other people would kind of click and drag and then skew the image and make it look all stretched out. But anyway, now you can just click and drag as you please and the aspect ratio will be constrained, so you no longer have to do that. So now that you know how to resize it, another thing I'm going to show you is how to rotate it. So if you go to the corner of your image, you can see that there's a double arrow, right here. If you don't see it, just move your mouse a little bit away from it. Now there's a double arrow. So I would like you to click on the double arrow and then drag it this way or that way. You can see that it rotates. Okay. You can also rotate it by changing the value in your options panel. So if you want it 45 degrees rotation or minus 45 degrees, but sometimes we don't always know what exact degree we want and we have to kind of eyeball it. So it's actually more useful to use, you know, your mouse instead of entering a numerical value. So now we have it. There we go. And I'm going to press Enter. And there you have. In this video, we learned how to rotate an image and also how to resize an image that you have placed in your document.